Good now, revolutionaries, and welcome to the Rise Up Morning Show. That's right. It's your place for helpful Web3 news, commentary, answers to your crypto questions. Oh my God.
Tell me why.
How you guys doing
Do
this
you
morning?
want to know why?
Nope.
No.
I don't. Shout out to all our friends in the backstage chat, and shout out to both of you for being in the backstage chat where only allegedly does anything problematic. It's a mythical.
All Will's fault. Literally always.
Man.
100% of the time.
Don't come.
You set me up that time, actually. You guys did.
I knew I was setting you up.
Yeah, you guys knew. You knew what you were walking into.
No, you know
You're
what?
familiar with that
I
door.
take it back. That's Evan's fault for sure.
I feel like I have to read people in, and I'm just gonna. We can't talk about it. We cannot. You cannot tell them what it is. You can tell them what it really is. I asked Will, based on a headline.
Think very carefully about what you're about to do. Don't get this stream demonetized.
So quickly.
Don't come for me. I just asked Will what a spinning bottom candle was because I had never heard that. I said, Will, what is a spinning bottom in the context of candles? And then I let him know that to me, it sounded adventurous. And I think
You're doing this. You're continuing. You tossing out adventurous in there.
Is just
Will's head's about to explode. Look at him. He can't
too
contain
easy.
himself.
Just like-
Let me ask you this then to divert you. How was Market Watch yesterday?
it was good. It was good. Yeah. Doug and I, let's see, do we have any incredibly valuable nuggets of information that came out other than the entire show?
How's beef
But
look?
we actually didn't look at beef. This is the first show we didn't look at beef.
Incredible.
But incredible. Let's see. Yeah, no, we took a look at Bitcoin, took a look. Gold and silver are in like their own little markets right now. But for the most part, Doug and I were taking a look at like every single crypto, and all the charts were pretty much the same. We see some more weakness in a lot of cryptos. We were getting a lot of interactions kind of back and forth with Ryan in our community, talking about, hey, I'm looking at things kind of bumping upwards tonight. So took that feedback, started taking a look, and I didn't necessarily see it, but Ryan was totally right. So, we got a little bump over the night. And overall, though, Doug and I we're both all looking at the charts and like, yeah, like things could bump here, but like there's no confirmed bottom anywhere. And it looks like, a lot of coins want to go down a little bit further. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was listening for a couple of minutes, and then when I caught the summary afterwards, I was looking at the charts this morning, doing some headlines, and it looked like, we had a little this. And indeed, it seems like people aren't quite sure where they want to go. If you guys are cool with it, I'm glad to read us into a couple of headlines and give us a little conversation starter if you want to hop right in. Sound good?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Then let me introduce
Rapid fire crypto news.
What a bumper.
What a bumper. Spinning bottoms and bumpers, ladies and gentlemen. The very first piece of news that I have for you is related to the hot dog sensation sweeping the nation. Of course, I'm talking about Log a Dog. The Log a Dog finale is today. Yesterday was the last day to log your dogs for season 2. I think I logged just under 200 dogs this summer. I told Kimberly as I pulled the plate of hot dogs out of the fridge that this was the last time I had to do this. And she was like, thank God, I'm getting my blood drawn today. And they'll surely be like, why is your cholesterol so high? I'm going to be there. You should be there. It's 12 p.m. Eastern on X and retake.tv. You can find it by searching Log a Dog. Tune in. They're going to give away over $15,000 in prizes. And even as I'm announcing the headline, I realize I have flubbed it up. It's not today that this is airing. It's September 6th that this is airing. It's absolutely incredible. I do the prep.
Distracted with this spinning bottom and logging these dogs. And
I know, man. I know. I just can't get enough. I was wrong. It's September 6th, but still the contest is over. So get excited about it. It's going to be fun. Tune in to see your favorite dog eaters and support our friend Mike. In other news, as we've alluded, here are the hard numbers. Bitcoin is down 1.3% from yesterday evening at about $110,000. ETH is down 2.4% at 43.95 before the broadcast. The CoinDesk 20, however, is up 2.3%. Crypto futures.
The CoinDesk 20?
The CoinDesk 20.
Is that just like the top 20 coins on CoinDesk?
CoinDesk keeps an index of the top 20 tokens by market cap.
Ah, I didn't know.
It's just a helpful little metric,
It's cute.
you know?
Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute. And it gives them something to, say like, hey, it's the CoinDesk 20. I'm sure, Bitwise.
Yeah, I'm
Bitwise
sure 7 people care about it.
7 people, and I'm one of them. It's up 2.37%. Crypto futures, you probably talked about this on the show last night, worth $370 million were liquidated by exchanges in the last 24 hours as the Bitcoin price bounced. The liquidation led to a decline in open interest in futures tied to most of the top 10 tokens.
Oh, to be an exchange.
To be an exchange, man. That's where the money is.
That's where the money is. Goddamn.
Indeed, there is a near record open interest of 2 million ETH in Ether futures. We talked yesterday about a Bitcoin whale who made a pivot from Bitcoin to ETH, and it seems like people are doing that dance right now. In other network news, Tron slashed their network fees by about 60% following a successful community vote, marking the largest fee reduction in the network's history. This is significant because Tron has a market share of 28% of the 283 billion stablecoins locked across blockchains. That's according to our friends at DeFi Llama. So the cost to transfer stablecoins, it's gone from an average fee. I had no idea fees were this high. $2.47 to around 72 cents. And just a couple more. Elon Musk's personal lawyer, Alex Spiro, has been tapped to chair a new public company aiming to raise $200 million to form a Dogecoin treasury, according to Fortune. And my final headline for you today, World Liberty Financial, according to WeRate founder Quentin Francois in tweet, has loads of cash to pump their own prices. He's talking, of course, about what is speculated to happen following the up and down action of World Liberty Financial after their token launch yesterday. They raised $700 million in pre-sales, plus another $1.5 billion from, he says, a damn NASDAQ-listed company forming a treasury company. And this is what they're proposing now. They're floating a buyback and burn program. Alex, you're going to love this, to shore up confidence after their rocky launch, where fees from World Liberty's liquidity positions on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Solana would be used to buy their tokens on the open market and permanently burn them. The design shifts the token's framing from oversupply to engineered scarcity. Because, more volume, more fees, more fuel, more burns. Like Will said, it's good to be an exchange, and the World Liberty Financial team says it aligns their long-term holders with the protocol's growth. So with the token trading at 20-something cents.
23 cents.
It is looking like a pretty savory proposal. And the last thing I want to tell you is there is a scam going around with World Liberty Financial. Hackers have exploited an EIP. We talked about this on the show previously. EIP stands for Ethereum Improvement Proposal. This particular EIP, 7702, is a delegate contract feature, which allows scammers to drain tokens from your wallet in a phishing style scam, where they'll send you a bad link or a transaction that is meant to look like one thing when really you're giving permissions for something else. Folks are losing their holdings left and right because they are clicking bad links. So be sure that if you see somebody on social media who is trying to get you to secure your tokens or interact with World Liberty Financial, if you are a holder or someone who bought, that you double check those links Don't click anything that anybody is trying to urge you to click out of, fear or anxiety. And if you need to double check, the best place to do it is any official website, or ask your other crypto friends. Come to the Rise Up Morning Show community at rumshq.com. It's the very first link at the top. Jump in there and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I'm a WLFI holder. And just curious, anybody else get this email? We'll help you out. We'd be glad to see you there. So what do you guys think about these headlines? Are we excited about this World Liberty Financial? They're an exchange. They're making that money.
Am I excited by it? No. Did I buy $1,000 worth of it last night on air? Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah,
that sounds
it was
like
on there. We're just talking about it. And then I had a buy zone for it and it hit it at 23, 22 cents. And that was my buy zone. So I put $1,000 into it. And yeah. And now if it, dips back down to 20 under 23 cents into 22 cents to 20 cents, I'll buy a little bit more of it. Why? Because I believe the Trump family is financially incentivized to add pumpamentals and excitement to it and yada, blah, 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 blah. So
what was it about that level that made you confident that this is the time I'm going to start moving in?
Well, if you go to the perpetuals exchange on Binance, which is the largest exchange for it, it has a bottom at 20 cents to 21 cents. And so it fell into that 12 hours ago, and that was the buy zone. So it's a double bottom. Which is not a spinning bottom. It's a double bottom. There are two bottoms there.
Alex, what do you think about the state of World Liberty Financial?
Oh, but I do want to say one thing.
Please.
I saw a great tweet by our friend Tom Dunleavy on Twitter and X, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a shit. And it was, I don't know a single person who knows what World Liberty Financial does. And I don't think the Trump family does either.
They sure don't. No, actually, that's a lie. I know what World Liberty Financial does, and they know what it does too. It's a manufactured extraction mechanism by which they can make money harder, better, faster, stronger than they've been able to make before. Because
we love harder, better, faster, stronger.
Amen. Because even people who don't like them will gamble on this thing. And because you can only get campaign donations from people who like you, now you can also get them from people who hate you. And you can get them in a flavor that is not tracked or regulated by any of the campaign finance regulatory bodies or rules or laws, those pesky things, even though there's some crazy fine print in Trump political contribution guidelines and stipulations about what they can do with that money. So you just widen the net of who can contribute to whatever cause you want. So I have no doubt, Will, that as you get some in a bottom, that they're going to want to do something to push it back up again, and then they'll do something to drop it back down again, and then they'll just make money on that thing for as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, because that's crypto, baby.
Amen.
Yeah.
Where's this meme come from, baby? Where's that come from?
That's from
wait, the meme? What are you talking about?
Everybody says that's crypto, baby, and it's the way they say baby that indicates to me that it's this is a meme. Everybody
I didn't even think everybody said that.
Alex has been on a tear with it lately.
Yeah, I'm
that's
pretty
crypto,
sure it's from
baby.
a movie.
It's something.
I have no idea.
Seeing a Seinfeld. I don't know. It could be. I have no idea.
We have some folks saying, gonna miss World Liberty Financial for now. Some folks saying was able to move before it got drained. That's good to know. I'm glad to hear that. We have questions asking about whether or not we think September will be a bad month. So lots of different places to go from here. Will, what did you and Doug determine last night?
I mean, we didn't talk about the seasonality much at all, but typically September's a bad month, and then a bad month allows for a pretty decent October to a really good November to December. Is how things typically work. I mean, this since the ETFs went live, we haven't really had typical, right? The summertime is also supposed to be really bad, and the summertime was really good. So, I don't know. But, just from what we saw on the charts, and we happen to be in September now, it looks like things could dip a little bit. I was thinking that we would have a rally into rate cuts, get the rate cuts announcement, buy the rumor, sell the news would happen. But it looks like we're getting a dip into rate cuts and then we'll see what happens. The thing that we talked about that was of more interest to the markets is the whole Court of Appeals announcing that, or making the decision that Trump's tariffs are illegal and would be stopped in the middle of October, which gives them enough time for that to be heard by the Supreme Court, for the Supreme Court to rule if the tariffs are allowed or not. The only thing that the Court of Appeals said that Trump's tariffs were legal were the ones specifically on steel and aluminum. All the other ones not legal. So we'll see. And so there's two arguments here, which is one of like whether that would be bullish or bearish. The bull picture is immediately, Doug and I think that you would see the stock market rally if the tariffs were removed, because then every company just had an extra 15% minimum of expenses get wiped off the board. And then inflation would take a big hit and you could just do rate cut, you know? So we think the market would be happy. The only argument against it is there have been a lot of trade deals that have been struck. And by the way, the trade deals haven't been signed on paper. They're all just agreements, right? There's not a single one that's been signed in paper. None of them are legally binding in any way. But there have been a lot of these deals that have been agreed to, that, you know, the underpinning reason as to why it's happening, which was the tariffs, are gone. So all of those trade deals are gone. You know, so like that would be a little bearish because there's a lot of pledged money towards certain fields in the U.S., in specific U.S. industries. But I think that loss is not as big as the gain of the boon to business that there would be, as well as the boon to the average American if all those tariffs were just wiped away. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people argue for and against as to what the Supreme Court is likely to do. And I don't think we necessarily know. So there's no word yet as to when the Supreme Court's going to take this up, but there'll be some sort of decision between now and October 14th.
Got it. A date to watch. And then we'll have rate cuts. Fingers crossed for people in podcast land in between.
Yeah, but now we have this extra event, and now rate cuts aren't that important because there's already an 88% chance of rate cuts happening, and the market's already priced that in.
Yeah.
So now you're getting like a little bit of a cool off because we're like, okay, cool. Looks like rate cuts are happening. And then if like now the big question mark is what's really happening with these tariffs? Because if the tariffs get wiped off the board, you're going to have a pretty damn explosive second half of October into November and probably a little bit into December, like we typically do. Because now you have to reevaluate all of these companies in the entire financial market, with basically global trade going back to what it was essentially before Trump came into office.
Yeah. And it's not that Heidi said, what? Rate cuts are important. It's not that you're saying rate cuts aren't important. It's that
they're very important.
The market looks forward. And
yeah,
as you say, priced in, what we mean by that is that there's some volatility that happens as people decide what they think the Fed is going to do. Now, of course, if Jerome Powell defies the market's expectation, then we could experience some volatility, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, yeah, rate cuts are incredibly important. But when I said rate cuts aren't important, I mean in terms of what is driving the market right now. Like right now. Because the market's already priced in the current rate cuts in September. But the effect of rate cuts in a macroeconomic standpoint aren't felt in markets for about 6 to 9 months afterwards, after that they happen. And also 25 basis point cut, which is what we're looking at, which is a 0.25% cut, really isn't that big of a cut at all. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. You need like 4 or 5 or 6 of them to really feel that global pool of liquidity start to increase again about 6 months later. And, you know,
so the real question would be if Powell finishes his term and then some schmuck is put in place who just slashes them to whatever they want them to. I mean, you keep hearing like they should be at 1%. And if that happens, something insane like that, then of course, you know, all bets are off.
Yeah, but like the thing is
it seems
like
insane,
having
though.
Interest rates at what, like it's not going to happen because like it would just cause other things to break. It's just not going to happen. It's just it's a big marketing campaign.
Yeah.
It's not actually going to end up being like that. You'll end up having rates fall to something like, I don't know, 2%, and they're currently at 4.3%, maybe 2.5% is what they end up falling to, right?
I mean, even that.
I mean, yeah, that's a huge swing. That's a massive boon in liquidity for markets. But again, like, I just want to reiterate, when I said rate cuts aren't important, they're very important to global liquidity. But what's important right now and what's affecting price immediately would be this question mark around the legality of the tariffs.
Okay, I want to talk about legality related to CRO and ask you guys an ethical question about the burning and reissue of supply. We didn't talk about it when we talked about CRO the other day. Someone brought it up in the comments, but first, I would like to let you know that the boon counter is up to 3. Somebody
been saying boon?
Somebody noted in the comments that they saw your video this morning and learned that Will loves the word boon. And I just want it to be noted that I also love the word boon. 'Tis indeed a boon for our show when that word is around. So congratulations. We're up to
I feel
3.
like I don't say boon because
Now you're going to
boon's
be
like,
very self-conscious about your
I
words.
feel like
at least twice on this stream, and according
Really?
to one commenter, at least once
be a
in a video
boon
this
to
morning.
markets. Oh, that's that's the only time it's like, would it be a boon to market? Be a boon. Yeah, okay, I do say that. Yeah.
A boon, a favorable situation.
Now it doesn't sound like a real word. Boon. A boon.
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 Have you guys lost count yet?
Boon.
Somebody at the end of the show who gets the boon counter right will win $1,000 of Will's Monopoly money.
Wait.
Coming to a store
No.
near you. Bearded made a comment that I lost, but there was something to the effect of, after you mentioned you spent some money on World Liberty Financial, he said, Will, you're betting $1,000 of our money. And all I can think is I really, really need that Monopoly money in different colors with Will and Schmilliam Schmatzen and mustaches. And
Guys, when you come to Boston, I found the perfect studio in Boston we can rent out for film. That's like the perfect. That's the perfect Schmillian Schmatzen. Oh yeah. No, I have plans for some content. I have a studio rented out in this like factory.
So it's like old timey with like red velvet chairs and like
content.
Dark Academia vibes.
Oh, dude, it looks like not the studio that I've rented, and I'm going to start filming some stuff with my videographer at the end of the month. But the other place was like, oh, if Alex and Evan were here, I would have to rent a tux, and they'd be like, "Oh, I wonder what Will's up to," and it would literally just be me at in a Victorian library with like, and there's a piano there as well, and like everything else you're imagining, like the armchairs, even like the golded armchair, like it's to the T. This place is used for weddings and shit, and it's over near Harvard. So now just picture like an extra level of like old fucking money, and it's perfect. And I saw that it's you can rent it for $500 an hour, and I was like, oh, I'd get the most out of that $500.
I think that
it's used for weddings and fake radio shows.
Yes, I also found a bunch of other places where I was like, that's where we could find Alex, and like that's where we could find Evan, and it was wonderful. One was just like you can rent out a really dope ass looking but like very grungy looking bar, and I was like, all right, that's where Alex is. And then it's like, where could you find Evan? And another one was like this maybe strip club, like hippy dippy, maybe like a lot of purple, and like it was like themed lights, like Rise Up Morning Show. And I was like, what the hell is going on here? And I was like, you know what? I think that's what a lot of people say when they open up an Evan video for the first time, and they're getting like really good education, but he's shirtless and sweating. And they're just like, what's happening here? But he seems really nice and approachable. I like this guy. And I was like, and that's where we find Evan. That's where we grab all of us. And then I don't know, we walk into like a normal studio. Anyway, guys, I'm looking to spend about like $3,000 on renting out these studios for one single video.
If you want to make some money, you want to walk your way into a boon, and you live in Boston, then maybe you can decorate your house and call Will.
Yep.
On the way to the CRO question, we actually have a quick detour that I think is a good one. What do we think? Can we clarify for Heidi? Which crypto will be used for real estate? Is there one? I feel like this gives us an opportunity to clarify like how crypto and crypto tokens work right now for something like the tokenization of a real estate deed and how they're likely to work in the future. Does anyone want to take this?
I mean, it's probably going to be used on Ethereum. It's probably going to be one of the layer 2s for Ethereum. Probably Polygon would be my guess. But
I'm going to back you into that by asking you first. I think that's a great answer. I'd like to hear why. What what kinds of tokens, what will real estate tokens look like? What will the tokens be used to represent? Because tokens, they're symbols, like words are symbols, or like money is a symbol. A dollar bill represents $10 in value. Christmas tree is a string of sounds or letters that represents, an idea that everyone gets in our head when I say it. What would a real estate token represent?
I mean, it's probably not going to be like a crypto. It's probably not going to be like a crypto like what you're thinking of. It's not going to be like some new project or something. It's going to be just like some tokenization on the blockchain, right? It's going to be like an actual tokenized real world asset, like a tokenized stock that's just fractionalized. It's just going to be fractionalized shares of ownership of this company represented by some non-speculative asset that goes up and down, right? Whatever that is. And that's just going to be built on probably Ethereum. I'm saying Ethereum because that's where BlackRock's doing all of its building, right? You have World Liberty Financial doing all of its building on Ethereum. Yeah. It's going to be on Ethereum. It's going to use some layer 2 to make it fast and cheap to be able to process that. I would imagine Polygon, but you could pick Optimism or Arbitrum. They're all fine and would do the job. But like that'd be it. There's going to be no speculative token to it. It's just going to be a on-chain representation of the amount of the home that you own if it's tokenized, or the entire deed of the home just represented as an NFT on chain. And bada boom, bada bing. There you go.
It's going to be it's an ERC 6551.
Yeah, it's going to be, you have the deed of the home, or you've tokenized the home, and there's a million little bits and bobs and pieces of the home that you could potentially buy. And then let's say you buy 20% of it. So you have 20% of the ownership of the home and you're responsible for 20% of the mortgage. That would be on Ethereum because that's where all the institutions are building. And then there's not going to be a speculative asset going up and down to it. And you can probably conduct all of this in USDC.
Okay, wait a second. ERC 6551. What is that, Alex?
Well, it just had to, Will was really going off.
Yeah, I'm into that though, but I
would answer the whole thing by saying Ethereum 6551. That's a TBA, token bound account. It's the token standard on Ethereum that effectively turns individual tokens into wallets. Basically, it allows you to do a whole lot of stuff with a token that you could normally not do. And with something that has, as Will said, as many bits and bobs as a house, and the contract there, you really need an entire, you probably need a custom smart contract written per house that contains all of the nuance and specificity of that particular agreement, deal, contract, who owns how much of it is financed with that, whatever, insurance, liability, like all this kind of stuff. And it feels like that would be a place where you could probably do something pretty cool with the 6551 standard.
Would you want it to be soulbound?
No.
Okay. Why?
I don't think it could be, unless you had a specific.
And soulbound, for people asking, means I issue a token to you that you can never get rid of, or that can never leave the assigned ownership of that wallet.
I would say maybe, but I would have to know more about the specifics there, because I'm not like an expert enough to say it could or couldn't be done that way. But my guess would.
Don't think so though.
Because you have to be able to transfer it, right?
Yeah.
These things, but you could also create a moment wherein you could have a soulbound that could be burned and reissued in a new form as a new owner were to take something, like a fresh deal kind of a thing.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that, and I could also see, but I think one of the things about smart contracts that makes them better than doing a real estate deal on pen and paper is that they are transparent. Anyone anywhere can look up the deed and see who owns it, and that kind of removes the need to bind it to someone's account, I think. I also think there will be the only thing I'll add, because you guys nailed it, is there will be marginal products like fringe stuff, and maybe stuff that develops over time that we don't anticipate, like what is there? There's Propy, there's OB Coin. There are all these interesting kind of experimental things that I think are a smaller share of the real estate market, but which, for example, allow you to buy a fungible token, meaning like a number go up token, based on the property value in a place. They have a coin for Atlanta and one for Boston and one for New York, and you can buy a token that represents what property is worth. And when the property goes up in value because there's property in their portfolio, then your token goes up in value. I think that's very small fringe stuff.
Yeah, no. I see, that's why I'm saying TBA, because the amount of things that you could do or add in that could have tokenization elements to them that you don't necessarily want to futz with the house itself or that contract. Just because the thing you have to remember too is that, like, yes, buying a house is awful. It sucks. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of people that you just have to pay because they exist, not because they're helping you with anything. And that's not just going to go away. I'm sorry. It's just not going to go away. There are so many rules and laws and regulations at play that you can't just necessarily skirt. Like, I was just listening to a video yesterday that my mom sent me about real estate in France specifically. And one of the things that the dude noted is, like, there's this person, you have to pay them. It's 7 to 8%. You cannot negotiate it. There is no legal way to purchase real estate or a house in the country of France without using this particular person. They will emerge from the shadows and place their stamp on paper and then recede back into the shadows after collecting 7%. And that's just the way that it goes.
Yeah. Are they in exchange? Man, it's good to be these exchanges.
Yeah.
No, I think he said specifically it's a guy named Albert who's been doing this for 100 years and just pops out of the shadows to take his 7%.
My name is Albert from Binance. Albert strikes again, you son of a bitch.
But no, to take it back to the question about, like, propy and all that kind of stuff, like, I think they're neat, but I think they're gimmicky. I think that at the end of the day, the way that any of this shit's really going to materialize on chain is going to be at the hands of some behemoth company, and it's going to be regular Ethereum because that's the strong one with all the security that people at that level, like in that field, know and trust, if anything. And then you're going to have stablecoin involved smart contract agreements. And my speculation would be, I would not be surprised to see something like 6551 make an appearance there.
It's also going to be, here's another rent streaming, escrow. Smart contracts will be used for escrow to prevent what happened to your parents, where, like, you give someone the money and the deed gets transferred before the money is, like, in your account. Smart contracts can fix that. They can fix the problem of, like, hey, my tenant didn't pay me on time. I got to go knock on their door and spend my gas money to, like, try and hunt this fool down. Or also, my landlord is a crook and did something wrong, and now they're holding my rent. Smart contracts will fix that. And I think giving citizens, like, more ways to express and earn value from their identity. I think every citizen of Memphis is going to get a token. It'll be a different token if you're a landowner, if you're a renter, if you rent to somebody else, if you rent to them at a discount, if you rent to Section 8 people, if you work in the city, you're going to have a token that represents that. And again, it's not necessarily going to be a fungible, anybody anywhere can go and buy this token to speculate. It might be soul-bound to your wallet. It might be in a managed wallet for you. Maybe the city of Memphis manages wallets that it gives you permission to access to. You know, there's all these things. Go ahead.
To push back, I think that's what could/should happen, but I honestly have a hard time believing that it will in any reasonable amount of time. It's too good for us.
Let's take that back.
Good for us. Yeah.
It is too good for us. It'd be hugely effective at improving a lot of, like...
But look at everything that's been done that involves the proverbial us in the last how long? How many of them have been for our benefit? You can count them on one hand. Everything is designed to shaft you. So this beautiful system, because, dude, it sounds... Think about it.
Remember
cool
when Blink 82 went back on concert?
Blink what?
You know? Blink 182.
There it is.
Yeah, I said it.
Blink 82 would be like.
I said Blink 182.
I agree.
The first time
my one was quiet.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I did.
Yeah, Blink 182. The one is silent. Yeah, as it is.
No, I think I was just like a little quiet with the one. I feel like I said. I wouldn't say Blink 82. That's crazy.
No, I used to listen to them and Sum 40 and 310 all the time.
And 2 doors down.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it'd be a real
Eve 5
to local economies. If we
one
could
dog
take-
night.
Yeah.
I could do
One
this
dog-
all day.
One dog night. Oh. Anyway, I wanted to say 2 quick things real quickly, just on the topic of real estate tokens. If you have a speculative real estate token that says it's going to be the thing that, like, we're going to be the real estate token, I'd say run for the hills.
Yep.
Also, great comment from Solom, which was, hey, is he with Crow in reference to Albert? Because Albert would be with crypto.com. This is my 8%. I'm going to unburn these tokens now.
in this particular French video that I was watching, the other reference that the guy made to this mysterious Albert was with reference to, he's like, you also got to make sure that if you're buying a house in France that you set aside some money in your budget to fix the fact that the fuse board was built in the 1970s by a man named Albert and is held together by nothing but hope and string. And it has to be a piece of your home renovation budget. So Albert seems like kind of a schmuck, is all I'm saying.
I don't know, dude. I feel like I hope I aim to be Albert one day.
Yeah, of course you do, schmillion.
Hey there, Norman. Hey there.
Perfect.
Right up to you.
It's the perfect time to buy.
Okay, if you've got a crypto question, a suggestion, a good joke, word of wisdom, let us know. We're coming back to this ethical question now. That was a really good one.
Oh yeah.
Blew people's minds a little bit. We want you to remember that tokens, they're a whole new medium. This is like the invention of language or electricity. People are going to use this stuff for novel things that haven't even been invented yet, but all of which you can understand by learning what a blockchain is, how it works, what tokens are, how they work, how they don't. And we've got a whole lineup of shows for you this week that are going to help you do that, including a special broadcast tonight at, will fact check me on this because I don't have my calendar up and I hope I get it right. 7 p.m. Central? 6 p.m.?
Yeah, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, 6 p.m. Central. We're going to have the Working in Web3 panel. We've got our friends from Matana. We've got Lindsay from the Stellar Development Foundation. And we've got new friend Will the Trill, who works sourcing jobs and connecting people to them in the wild and wonderful world of Web3. So if you are somebody who is trying to work here or just wants to understand like the differences between crypto and financial tech jobs and software, you know what I mean? The intersection and where they diverge, this is going to be a great special broadcast for you. Tomorrow, we finally have, I got the email about the calendar confirmation, Evan McMullen coming to the show to talk about decentralized identity and privacy. Alex will believe it when he sees it, right?
Yeah, we've been trying to get this one for a while.
And we'll keep trying.
I've been told before.
It's been like 6 months.
We can't wait to have Evan back. And we're here every Monday through Thursday for the Rise Up Morning Show, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Jump in the Rise Up Morning Show community. It's totally free. We talk about this stuff deeply all the time. I had a great conversation with Mr. Robot Stecklerish on our Circle exclusive stream last week about tokenization for a city, what that could look like. And really, after all the conversations we've had there and are continuing to have, the only thing missing, we always say, is you. So here's the read-in on Crow. We've talked about it recently because of the price action, the crypto.com token. As Will said, exchanges, it's where the money's at, baby. But the Trump family, Trump media specifically, and Kronos, the issuer, crypto.com, they announced that they were going to start a digital asset treasury and buy about $200 million, I think, fact check me, in Crow tokens. They're going to take out some loans, ELOCs, and use some revenue from some other places to buy these tokens. And that contributed to a pop up in the price. Crow holders, including one of our friends in the comments, has asked, hey, what's going on with this whole, didn't they burn a bunch of tokens because the community said they wanted to, but then they like reissued them later?
Didn't they swindle everybody? Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Question is that legal? And what about the votes? And can we just talk about whether or not this is a good thing for the protocol, why it was allowed to happen?
Is it legal? Yes. What about the votes? Screw the votes. What does this mean for the protocol? The shitty people have all the money, so it's probably fine. And what does it mean for you? Don't trust exchanges.
Not your contract, not your crypto, baby.
Do not trust Albert. I now, God, we have another personality to include in this sketch. It's Albert. Just always coming. Oh, man. Oh, wait, I can't wait. Guys, we got to get back together again.
We really do. I know we really do.
We got to put it on the calendar. I know
I
it's probably going to be next year.
While I love to play a good character and have a good bad French accent, I secretly want for Will to play every third character.
Every third character?
Like all the third character. Like you're still in it as Will, but also every time there's a character, it also has to be you.
I would be thrilled with that.
I think you would do a fantastic job.
I would have the most fun.
Honestly,
and I have the costumes already. So,
Yeah, literally all of them.
I literally
This man is Party City.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a longer, more drawn out conversation, but I feel like you really just nailed it. Like that's
it.
There's not much more to say.
No. The vote went in the favor of the direction that it went because they have enough to outvote in whatever. If they get the sense that the people are going to vote the wrong way, they'll just screw you all over.
Yeah. This comes back to our conversation yesterday about what is really decentralized here. And the answer is a lot less than you think and a lot less than we kind of broadcast it to be. And it's not because we aren't being truthful, but I think we're just optimistic a lot of the time. Like,
yes, that's it. But listen, I'm going to get in trouble for this. It's the American way. This is the illusion of choice and freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. You have things, you're told that you can vote on stuff. They give you the choices and they will allow the inconsequential votes to be had by whoever. And I'm not just talking about CRO, I'm talking about anybody. And I'm very pessimistic about this because I've seen really no instance wherein it just like works out for people. Also, in general, like a fresh protocol being super decentralized, allowing the community to govern it and vote on stuff when no one has the proper context, nobody really gives a shit, and it's all just about money anyway, is a terrible idea. So there's that too. But in this sense, you give a consequential vote, let everyone believe like, hey, yeah, your vote matters, and then, oh, wait, you're picking the wrong thing. Thumb on scale. And there we go. So it's technically voting. Like, yeah, technically it is, but it's also bullshit.
Yeah. It's also not a US based company. So they have a lot of these crypto companies that, crypto.com specifically is based in Singapore. Kronos is Cayman Islands.
Based in Singapore, but like,
yeah.
Why?
So, the question is like, why is it legal for them? It's not necessarily a security. Crypto.com has done a lot for the people in power. It's super murky. And a lot of projects do this. They have votes about what should happen. And as Alex said, it's not, maybe the holder supply is decentralized, but the validators, the computers that run the code of the network, maybe those are mostly owned and operated by that company who issued the token. Maybe the smart contract can be updated by 2 or 3 wallets that correspond to employees at the company or something like that. So, sorry, pal.
Yeah, someone just asked, could this ever happen
crypto.com
in the stock market? Sure, not without a major lawsuit though. And that feels like a swing and a miss in the crypto department. I can't believe crypto.com didn't get sued, unless they did and it just didn't go anywhere. But should have been grounds for a class action.
Yeah.
Although
anyway,
the way the technicality the vote went that way.
Yeah, the vote went that way.
You probably signed some stupid terms and conditions that nobody read. That
probably.
So yeah, probably no basis for a lawsuit.
Junior had a good follow-up question asking, could it happen that way on a stock market? And the answer is no, because stocks are regulated as securities and there's a lot more. I mean, maybe it could. Mr. Deeds was about that, wasn't it?
We just had the moment wherein I said there was an interesting question about could this happen on the stock market, and then we talked about it, and then you were like, going around, and you were like, actually, there was an interesting question about whether or not this could happen in the stock market, and you said exactly what I said.
I was just like, okay, maybe there's a.
Sorry, Alex.
I'm sorry.
I did that thing that we sometimes do. I heard you talk. I was like, okay, good. Alex is going to talk for 30 seconds, so I can find a question and I can, check the comments. And I'm so sorry, brother.
It's okay.
I'm so sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
I've done it to you more than once, so
we still love you.
That's why people call this a fake radio show, though. And honestly, why we have probably more fun than is legally allowed on broadcast FCC radio. So thank you.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for.
But yeah, no. Answer is no, because lawsuits.
Yeah.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed.
Anyway, I'll quickly fill this dead zone with a little bit of information for this week. From a macro standpoint, there really isn't that much going on this week, guys. Like today, we're getting some manufacturing data. Tomorrow, the JOLTS report, which is, God, what's the JOLTS? Isn't that the jobs?
JOLTS, funny enough, is a Korean slang term for, a part of the male anatomy. Fun fact.
Oh.
I learned that from an exchange student who laughed because that energy drink, Jolt. Yeah. You guys remember that?
Jolt Cola.
He saw somebody drinking it, and he was like, ha, 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 ha. He couldn't stop laughing about it.
Nice.
When you think about it, that is pretty funny.
It is pretty funny.
That's funny.
Even if you're in middle school. Continue.
That is pretty funny. But yeah, so the JOLT is the another jobs report and also turnovers. Thursday, we get payroll data, the weekly jobless claims. Friday, we get U.S. jobs report for the month. So for the previous month. So we get a lot of jobs data this week. So we'll see how that goes. And that could affect possibly rate cuts. You want to see jobs data actually get a little worse in order for the odds of rate cuts to continue to go higher.
Is there expectations for that?
I haven't looked into it. So there are expectations. I don't know what they are right now.
Got it. Speaking of jobs, we might be out of a job if I just need can we I want to take a break from the show and invite maybe our friend Lindsay and some of our other fabulous friends to come co-host. I feel like there have been too many boy jokes lately. I don't think of myself as like one of those guys who has like guy humor, but I'm realizing that when we get together for some reason,
listen, farts are funny.
The boys are back in town.
Are funny, but I mean, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Telling me
I don't make the rules.
Our average viewer
podcast, which is such a unique demographic for podcasts, talks about boy humor from time to time. Wow,
our average viewer, 50% of whom are women,
our viewers are 50% women,
are absolutely just looking at us going like, I taught you better than that.
And it's like, so it's like, it's okay. We don't mind these straight white guy we don't mind this straight white guy podcast.
So, hang on. We're working on it. We are working on it. Also, one day, Rums and Espanol, it will happen. Okay, it is. Oh my God, we got time. I was thinking it was about that time we ride our dogs and ponies in the sunset, but no, we're good. We got lots of time for your crypto questions. And this one is about XRP.
I just love the TikTok comment. Straight?
Question mark?
Straight.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Don't let everything about Will fool you.
Or everything about me.
Yeah, it's literally just written in plain ink, like straight question mark, but just like it felt like straight.
Yeah. I mean, you got Mr. Mustache over here. I was a professional actor. Alex has 20 dogs.
I was deployed on a ship for a while.
Bunch of dudes
in the Coast Guard. So
yep.
And he learned all about that spinning bottom.
The signs were there. The question comes, did you talk about XRP already? Is that what the decentralized conversation was about? And the answer is no. But I wanted to touch on the conversation we had at the start. This is where the spinning bottom reference came from. What is going on with a couple of these altcoins? I mean, generally, everything's following Bitcoin. But we said at the start, XRP is having a hard time making up its mind. And I know a lot of folks in the audience are interested or hold XRP. And I've said in the past, I don't hold XRP. I would consider holding it again if I felt like I understood the movements of it. And right now, I just never have a strong sense of which way it's going.
Yeah. It's just so boring.
I feel like it's going down. I've been saying this for several weeks.
Tell
Watch
me
my altcoin
why.
update videos.
Well, you post too many videos for me to watch all of them. But whenever
guys,
I try to be
need you
supportive,
to
but by the
watch
time I
all of
finish
them.
the first one, you've posted 2 more.
Well, it's about to get worse, guys.
film a bunch of content. The last guy I know who needs to have content in the bank, but he's about to level up.
Yeah, but now it's about to be like really nice looking content.
That'd be really nice. So tell me then, why, as the Backstreet Boys would say, why can't I get a good pulse on it? What have you been saying for all these months that I have missed in your videos?
Well, let's see. Where's my chart here? Where's my chart?
I'd be curious to ask Kagan about it too, just because he's told me before, and it's been some time. He's told me before that the only things he trades are Bitcoin and XRP because of the kind of like what I have said about stuff like Arrow and Solana, that if you're like trying to swing trade, that they have more recognizable patterns of up and down. They are more consistently like ranging in a certain amount of percent. And I mean, according to him, and I guess he's been doing it for a very long time. He's very good at it. By the way, he is going to do an appearance on Market Watch at some point.
No way!
Lovely.
He has like a sports league thing at the time that it's going, but he's going to figure something out. He'd be killer on the show. Anyway,
Well, so I'm sharing my XRP chart here, and the first thing is keep your eyes on these white lines here. You know, if I were just to extend this outwards, you know, you have yourself a little wedge, right? A little triangle to trade in, roughly. You know, it's not. I didn't draw this perfectly, but you can see we had a bearish break below our line of support here, and we also have short signals flashing, and we have major confident breaks of key exponential moving averages acting as support that were broken, like the 12, the 21, and the 55. And typically that means you fall down to the next major area of support on your key exponential moving averages, which is the 200-day exponential. And there's also the 200 simple that are sitting at about $2.50. And if I expand this a little bit more, and I go to a longer term time frame, which gives us an even clearer picture, I will also, let's see, I had this already here. Yes. The trend-based Fibonacci extension tool, which is just another tool you can use to find areas of support and resistance on an asset's price. You know, I see a whole lot of support here at roughly $2.30. And I feel pretty good about maybe XRP would want to fall down there for two reasons. One of which is the weekly chart stochastic RSI right here is not in oversold territory, telling me that we don't have a potential confirmed bottom yet. But also at the same time, and this is what Von, aka Doug, would point out, is you have this big old fat candle right here, right? And this is a lot of dead space where you just had one candle. You didn't have like many candles to really kind of build any major area of support and resistance. And Doug would tell you, this is an area of price that we want to fill in, right? We want to fill in with some more price action. And that's how he does it. Now, he trades off of vibes, right? I trade off of indicators and such. And what I would see is that, hey, if we do fall down in this range, I mean, like this entire area has a lot of support and resistance in here because you have this major consolidation zone, because consolidation zones create bottoms. And so if XRP price fell to the 55-day exponential moving average, that would be right in the middle of that consolidation zone. It would, according to Doug, who vibe trades, the way he calls it, it would fill in this candle's price action. Then you probably have a confirmed bottom on your weekly chart stochastic RSI, and then things probably, kick up again. So we'll see. So that's, and we've been keeping our eyes on this for a while now for XRP for the past couple of months. So that's it. That's what I'm saying.
In response to the comment about potentially a good time to buy, CJ said, I would say in general, with a lot of this stuff, if, and this is not special to XRP, I'm looking at all of you who hold any crypto, if you're willing to take some profits and pay yourself for making a good play. Because in response to the question about Arrow, that's one of the reasons that I still buy and sell that one, because on the days that it moves, it usually does 15%. That seems to be like this kind of magical average movement for it to do. And right now it's sliding. So I would love to buy it below $1 again, which just feels like a good spot. It's at like what, 109 or 110 or something like that. Sold a shitload of it at $1.55, and I'm just waiting. So, but again, if I did that, I would be more than happy to sell it if it crossed then $1.25 on the way up again. 25% swing up, like you bet your ass, I'm selling some of that. So same with XRP. If it goes back down and there's it's one of those that I personally find very boring, just because it's so exhausting to listen to people talk about how it's the second coming of Jesus in token form. But like, calm down. But it's probably not going anywhere. And there's a relatively large company behind it. So the odds that it does have a swing up again, pretty good. If you're willing to take advantage of it and actually sell something, then you can do well.
Yeah,
Alex,
totally.
please say, good God, man, take profit.
Good God, Matt.
Take your time.
Oh, now I'm on the spot. Have I ever said that before?
I don't think you've ever said that, but you've said it in so many words.
Yeah,
That is
I mean, it's
your mind.
I genuinely feel that. Good God, man, take some profits.
Going on the soundboard, baby.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
But for real, like, do it.
Yeah, Robert Steckler said, I'm up 4x on my XRP. And I was like, oh, what do you
Brilliant. Sell some.
make some
Yeah,
profit?
sweet.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you took some profit.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. It sounds like a warning when you say it like that.
Sure you did. I better not find out when I come home.
For you.
That chicken better be out of the freezer, goddammit.
And yeah, if literally not taking profit is my single big. I try not to dwell on things that are regrets because it's a waste of time. Worrying and regret is a waste of time. But if I had my own rules now for taking profits then, and I had someone like me yelling at me to actually take the damn profit the last time around,
Yep.
I wouldn't have a mortgage anymore. And that's sad to think about because I still have one. But, wouldn't have been the case. And if this fake easy was real, I also wouldn't have one. But you know what?
It's always Kanye.
It's
It's always Kanye and Albert.
Has anyone ever seen them in the same room at the same time?
No. And I think they
Something
might
to think about.
they might work at a
God.
crypto exchange, man. That's where the
Something to
money's
think
at.
about.
Kanye's been Albert this whole time.
That seems like an arc he would go on. Call
I
me
wouldn't be
Albert.
surprised by anything that Kanye
A French real
decides
estate
to
mogul?
do.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems pretty dead set on a very different arc.
We'll talk about it when it happens. Last reminder to tell you, if you've got a crypto question, this is a great place for it. And if you've got a suggestion for what questions Caveman, our friend, should ask Will and Cosmic at their debate this Thursday, I sent several submissions, and you should too. What time is it Thursday? It's 8 Eastern? 7?
It is a time.
Too many shows to keep track of.
There are too many shows, but I was gonna make a video on it talking about it, and I need to get back to Caveman with questions and stuff. So I'll be asking y'all what kind of questions and stuff you might have to ask.
Caveman said about 8
Caveman
p.m.
and myself.
Eastern. Correct. Solom wants to know the song that you're going to enter to. Like, what's your walk-up song?
Ooh,
The debate, while he
probably
thinks
something from Blink 83.
You're fired.
all the medium things. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Caveman did confirm that 8 p.m. Eastern is the time, and that is who is hosting it. He's here in the chat, in the comments, and Caveman's full handle, hang on, I'm scrolling, I'm going to get it, is Caveman Fantasy. Is that right? At Caveman Fantasy, our friend Dan. We're so glad to him for hosting good conversations and involving different people across the space. I think.
Ooh, deadlines for questions. Submit to me by noon today. All right, I need to make a video then. Right after this.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a question about holding IBIT in retirement accounts. Do you trade it? Says we're talking about taking profits and trading and stuff. You
Yep.
totally can. I would say that it depends on the account.
What is IBIT?
That's the Bitcoin spot, one of the Bitcoin spot ETFs. And if you have it in, I would say like a tax protected account, like a Roth IRA, where you pay taxes on the front end, you don't have to pay taxes on the back end anymore. I have taken profits on stuff there for sure. I used to have the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, and then they converted it to an ETF, and then it exploded. And I sold a bunch of it at that point, and then swung it into more when it then had a good correction because it like tripled. Just because I don't pay capital gains on money made inside that Roth because I already paid taxes when I deposited the money. So yeah, you could consider that. It's something to put on the table as an option. Just make sure you're aware of like what kind of account you have and how you feel about the thing and what your plan is. And you certainly don't have to. You can just let it sit there and kind of go on forever, which is generally what I try to do. I don't like do it often, but it's an option.
Yeah, I just feel so nervous to try it because the most precious thing is just accumulate more, in my opinion. And I don't like risking it. I don't like finding myself in the position with Bitcoin that I was in with Solana, where I sold at a top and then missed the re-entry, and now I'm like, you know,
Yep.
I don't want to spend more money than I have to.
You know what I think helps there is again that like DCA in and out idea, just because I've done that before too, you know, where you sell something and then you're like waiting for a better dip and it's like, no, it's going to get better. It's not, or maybe who knows? So you miss it. But, you know, just toss in a little bit. You don't have to buy or sell ever with the entire position. Buy or sell with a piece of the position. Get exposure to it if it goes your way. And it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't go your way.
I also have a couple of updates for people to keep on their calendar in addition to the William Watson cosmic crypto debate. Today is the day that lawmakers return to Capitol Hill following recess. So we're getting back to legislative work. September 4th, Polygon is going to officially finally complete the switching of its mainnet token to Paul from Matic, a process that they initiated and have been in progress on for some time.
17 years ago.
Basically, if you're a holder of Matic on Ethereum, Polygon, ZK EVM, or another centralized exchange somewhere, then just double check. You might need to take some action, and that is a good thing to be in the community for, because you may discover you can't send your Matic tokens, or you need to do something with them. You can't unset, whatever. You'll have an issue and you'll want a little help walking through it. That's the best place to go. rumshq.com has the link right at the top. Then we've got a couple conferences coming up that I wanted to tell people about in case you're in the neighborhood. We won't be in the neighborhood for a couple of these. ETH Warsaw is happening this week. Big time Ethereum conference. A lot of folks I know in the industry are going to Europe, going to Poland to be at ETH Warsaw. If you have the chance, do yourself a favor.
I've wanted to go to Warsaw for so long.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. My next trips will be, after my Japan trip, will be Italy and Greece, and then also I want to do Poland and then hop down to Budapest as well.
Oh man, that sounds fantastic. It sounds delicious is what it sounds.
Also, yes.
Then September 9th and 10th, you've got FinTech Week in London. Our friends over there would love to see you. Friends in the UK, I'm thinking of DYOR. I'm thinking of Keith, of course. I'm thinking of a lot of different people who, if you have the chance, could definitely go and see some folks. I imagine our friend Katie Evans with Swarm will be there. And then, Will, are you going to September 9th through 13th, Boston Blockchain Week? You said in the past you were, but...
yeah, it's on my calendar. I just haven't been able to think about it because right before then I have other non-crypto related work events. Also, thankfully, in Boston. So I was worried I was going to have to miss it at first. So I'm getting ready for those first. And then honestly, that it's the Boston blockchain is a little bit out of mind right now for me. Yeah. But as I get closer to it, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I got that to go to. So I do plan on being there.
Let us know in the comments if you are near and you're going to be there, whichever conference you're attending. And I would love to see more Rise Up IRL. I'm sure you could probably talk Will into meeting somewhere for some chowder or for a beer. I don't know.
That's not how Bostonians say beer. But yeah, no. So yeah, I could meet for chowder.
Man,
did they just say Sam Adams or Yingling?
No. First of all, Yingling is from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but it was always everywhere when I was in Boston. That was
it was not really anymore, which is odd because like it's a delicious beer. Yingling's great.
It's been a few years. So
people in Boston don't really drink Sam Adams. Like
yeah, no, that's just
no one really likes it.
What is the Boston beer then?
No, honestly, it's like, well, there's a ton of Guinness, which makes sense because of how Irish the city is, but which is great because I love Guinness. But otherwise, like the beer of Boston, God, I don't know. It's probably like an iced black coffee with Jameson in it. It's probably the beer of Boston.
All right,
that's the beer of Boston right there, baby.
You know, I was gonna say when you were talking about locations,
there's a ton of IPAs and like microbreweries. It's probably like some IPA, which like if you're from Boston in like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, you'd be real pissed about because it would probably be like your Yingling or like a standard light beer, like a working man's beer. And then a bunch of people like me moved in the city, and I'm not really a big IPA fan, but they're just like, craft beers, yes.
No IPAs.
We got a really good question from D, who asked, what happens at crypto conferences? If you go with us, you try to keep up with that.
So spinning bottom is a term that comes out of crypto conferences, right?
How do you mute Will?
What happens there? And why should somebody consider going?
They are networking events more often than they are anything else. It's an opportunity to work and talk in person with people who work remotely 100 or 99.9999% of the time. So that's mostly why you would go. If you're not actively working in the industry, I would say the only other reason to consider attending one, and in that case, I would choose carefully because they're not all the same, is to get a feel for things that you're investing in potentially, and like meet these people in real life and ask them questions about stuff, because sometimes the answers will alarm you and scare you into selling everything. And maybe the opposite. But no, generally they are networking events or hackathons. They're places for builders to do stuff and, build shit, win money, all that good stuff. They are also the place where companies will reveal things. It's like the announcement central. It's where you gotta have some kind of announcement for the big conferences. So, whoever is sponsoring a major conference coming up, which you do know ahead of time, you also know that they are about to announce something that they would call large at the thing, but in general, it's a networking event. But don't go to the Bitcoin specific ones if you're trying to like learn about investing or networking.
Yeah, you're not going to learn a single thing.
Yeah, unless you're in mining or self-custody, those are a waste of time.
Yeah, I would totally 1,000% agree on that. The only people that go to the Bitcoin conferences are the Bitcoin miners, politicians who are talking about Bitcoin, people who are new to the crypto space and like, oh, I'll go to the Bitcoin conference. And they're like, I didn't really learn a whole lot. And then all of the influencers, like all of the like TikTok influencers go to the Bitcoin conferences. And for me, I'll probably never go to another Bitcoin conference unless there was like one person I wanted to meet or something. I don't know who that would be. It'd probably be a politician or something, for like somebody who like was going to be on the show or whatever, that'd be it. Otherwise, for myself, I mean, in both of you, there's no reason for us to really want to go from like a business standpoint, because the people who we want to meet aren't there. They're at the other conferences, the people building the projects and stuff. And then what was I going to say? Oh, yes, right. I'd say one of two people goes to the crypto conferences. It's one, if you want to network and meet people, and, that's what they're for, like Alex said. Or you can be like Joe, who's a member of our community, who just goes and terrorizes people at these booths, because she walks up and she goes, hey, tell me about your product. And they tell her about the product. She goes, okay, now use English. And they're just like, or she'll say in a much more sweet way, hey, what does your product do? They say that. Okay, what are you doing to help people like me, understand and use this product? And then they just collapse and crumble. And by like day 2 or day 3 of this conference, Joe is like a shark swimming amongst a school of fish. They're just giving her a wide berth. And it's hilarious.
She is the most loving, terrifying sight if you are manning a booth at a crypto conference.
Because you see her walk up and you just see like the image of what you think a mom is walking up, and you're like, oh, I get to have this nice conversation. And then mom turns out to be a great white fucking shark asking you basic questions about how people could use your products. And you have no idea how to fucking answer because you're a crypto company and you build products for 7 people in decentralized financial world.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, it's great.
We have a real quick question here from Brett Valentine. Hey, Brett, thanks for tuning in. What's your technique for maintaining your cost basis as you move crypto from hot wallets or swap it around or DCA? He says, I've lost track. Is there a less manual way to keep track of those things? For crypto users, this is a perennial struggle because your wallets don't talk to each other. The exchanges, they keep track of it for you, but they are all kind of separate. Sometimes if you move an asset from one exchange to another, it resets your cost basis. If you're doing it on a spreadsheet and you got a lot of assets, it can be a lot to keep up with. So What do we recommend? You want to do a round robin of recommendations? I'll throw out CoinStats. CoinStats is a freemium tool where you can get started managing a portfolio. You can connect your wallets and exchanges, give them read-only access. And then instead of having to manually track everything, you just got to kind of check it, refresh it, and occasionally update it if it, resets your cost basis one place. And they generate tax reports for you at the end of the year. I think the paid version, it's between like $9 and $30, I believe. And they might even have an upgraded version, but most people will pay, $100 to $300 a year if they're using the premium version of it. And I think it's probably worth it. Somebody give me another tool. Help me manage
I think mine was just Coin Tracker. Is what I always forget the name of it because I typically don't go back and take a look at it until it gets closer to tax season. But a Coin Tracker, it's the one that has the partnership with Coinbase.
Okay.
Which I believe is Coin Tracker. Yes. And I just put like my wallet address into it and just tracks everything. And it just does it for me. So Coin Tracker.
Beautiful. Alex?
Excel.
Were you waiting for applause?
No, that's it. I have never used a single one of those other tools. I just have a spreadsheet.
That's not true. You also use CoinGecko.
You use Coinly.
And you use Coinly.
Yeah. You have like a bunch of things you use. I use Excel elitist.
No, not to track cost basis. I thought that's what we were talking about. Yeah, I use Coinly to generate a tax report from...
No, I thought Coinly had cost basis.
This is a gross misrepresentation of the facts.
They do.
Oh,
I mean, like where am I logging and doing whatever transactions? I used CoinGecko in like 2021. I have not. Dude, that thing is so out of date. It's not even funny. But no,
Cerebro?
I literally just write it down. Honestly, sometimes I write it down on paper because I don't have it on me, and it means more when I write it on paper, and then I put it on a spreadsheet later.
Also, shout out to Rudo, our friend. How you doing,
Hey.
Rudo? I hope your candles are green. For saying use Cerebro. It tracks all your wallets across chains
Killer
and
name.
protocols at x.com/Cerebro, which is CEREBRO_HQ. Thank you very much, Rudo. Also, TradingView and Drawing Trends. I'm not sure how you track cost basis with that, but big fan of smileys on the chart. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, monsters, machines, people, and creatures of all ages. Fact check yourself, brother. And also, send us your last minute questions, your suggestions, your good jokes, your words of wisdom, your predictions, and your complaints. Take them the hell out of here. It's about time to ride our dogs and ponies into the sunset. One final reminder that tonight we will be going live at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern for the Working in Web3 panel. If you're curious about how to make your living doing crypto, you'll want to work in the industry. Exchanges are where the money's at, but it takes a lot of money to become one, and maybe that's not you, so maybe you want to get a job at an exchange. This is the place for you, the conversation for you. We've got Lindsay, we've got Zara, and we've got Will the Trill. I actually think Zara is bringing another friend to talk about their coding boot camps too. Lots of good stuff tonight. We want to see you there. We want to see you at After Dark tomorrow night. Evan McMullen makes their return to the show. She is going to be like the number 4 most featured guest. I don't know. And of course, we'll be back for more Rise Up Morning Show tomorrow, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can catch all of our episodes, all of our replays, including the replay of Market Watch from last night, by heading to rumshq.com to get the link to your favorite social. I recommend YouTube. We've got playlists there. You can put it on your TV. And that way, when Will does a screen share or Alex makes a funny face, you can see it in full high definition. Fellas, have you got a final thought for us today?
My final thought would be for folks who are looking to dollar cost average. It's typically a better idea to do dollar cost averaging over like a period of weeks. Like have more patience with dollar cost averaging. Because I'll post a tweet every now and then like, hey, I bought more today. Hey, I bought more today. Hey, I bought more today. And I'm getting more and more comments being like, I already bought all I could buy. It's just like, I was like, oh no, you went all in too soon. But the markets will always be lower down for longer than you want and be higher up for less time than you want, right? So when you are dollar cost averaging into an asset, two, 3 days, a week, 2 weeks typically isn't enough. Like, think that you're going to buy into this asset over the course of a month and a half is what I would say. Until you feel real confident about a bottom, and then go in with your money. And also, if you have a stack of cash, right, that's 10%, buy with 2% at a time. Then as it goes lower down, 4% at a time. Then as it goes lower down, maybe 6% of your stack. And then, increase the weighted average to lower down as it goes down. That would be my advice to people who are dollar cost averaging. And maybe you dollar cost averaged a bit too quickly. Just a little bit of advice.
Thank you for your advice. Alex, final thought?
If you get the opportunity, take some profits for the love of God. You will thank yourself. That's literally it. I see it all the time. Every time there's a pump, then all the slugs come out of the woodwork saying that it's going to keep going up forever. See, I told you never to sell anything. And then it crashes next week.
Beautiful.
Don't listen to the slugs.
We got a couple of final thoughts from the audience. Mr. Robots Declarish says, want to be a millionaire in crypto? Start out a billionaire.
Correct.
We got Mama B Thang who says, love waking up with you guys. Oof. We've got a couple more questions coming in, and I will remind you that the best place for them when the show is offline is where the show lives 24/7. Jump in the community. Get the link at rumshq.com. Anyone win the Powerball crypto ball? Crypto Boat asks, I know it's not a crypto question, and the answer, of course, is if we did, we'd be talking to you.
No, but I did get the Powerball right, so I won $12.
12, baby. Yeah.
Where are you taking us?
Oh, don't worry, baby.
KFC.
I don't even know if you can get anything for $12 at KFC anymore.
Not anymore.
Station. And shout out to Killer Smile, who I'm seeing in the comments for the first time. We appreciate you tuning in, who suggests that if you want to learn, you should start with TradingView. Figure out what about the charts is happening. It's not random, they say. And if you have a question, if you got something you want to learn, this is the place for you to do it. Let us know what that is. My final thought is from the 8 Ball. It's a prediction for the price of Bitcoin, and it just says, buy Bitcoin. That's what we've got, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being the very best part of what we do. We'll be back. But until then, stay safe. Be well, my friends. Rise up.
Bye-bye.